Hi again. Yeah, it's been not so much time since the first video was recorded, and in fact, to be honest, um, just 2 days. Yeah, and I'm already recording something else because I get too obsessed with things, and I was so happy to record the previous one, so I couldn't wait any longer. But I'll post it a bit later because I don't want you to be overwhelmed by my existence here, even though it's my channel. But anyway. And today I wanted to talk about my favorite books. Here you can see my bookshelf on the background. Yeah, and these days it's pretty hard to pick favorites in anything, I think. I don't know, probably it's some part of growing up, maybe. But I have two favorites, obviously. Again, since my not childhood but teenage years. And I'm gonna share it with you. The first one is by Leonid Andreev. This one has many stories, tiny ones, kinda, and I got to know his works at school because it was a part of our literature program, and I was like a good student, and I was trying to do things perfectly, kinda, so that's why I read the whole list, I guess, always, of what we had. But this one was too special for me, and I was surprised that we had it in our program because it was kind of harsh, but maybe Russian literature in general is harsh, and so I shouldn't be that surprised about this. And my favorite work of his is The Tale of Seven Men. I won't tell you anything about the books that I'll mention because I hate spoilers, and I never read anything before reading books or before watching movies. I don't watch trailers because I like this feeling of something new in my life. I like something unpredictable, at least in such tiny things, of course, not in big things. Yeah, I'm searching for some stability anyway. But here, I just recommend you, and of course, it will be dark because it's Russian and because it's such an author. You'll understand probably if you will read, but I highly recommend, and I have some special connection with this book. I always carry it with me wherever I go, the same as my second book I'll show you. And I found this one. It's some book swap, I think it's called like this, where you can exchange books for free or you can just take it, and I took it immediately. And then a year after, I found kind of the same edition of this book, also in some swap, and I took it also immediately with myself to home. Yeah, I was too greedy probably for other people to get it, but I did this, yeah, and I gave the second book to my first boyfriend as a gift for New Year because he mattered to me at that time, and I thought it was kind of appropriate, yeah, for him to know what matters to me. So yeah, let's go on. The second book that I always have in my suitcase wherever I go, ta-da! I hope you can see this. 9 Stories by Salinger. To be honest, it kind of reminds me of the first one, but of course the vibe is different because it's not a culture. But if you know this one and you read the first one, you'll get the connection, and I don't know, probably I was just a teenager who liked to suffer in the mind. Yeah, maybe that's how I was created somehow in my songs and everything. I just liked weird things and weird feelings, yeah, and I just didn't know others. Yeah, like anger was transformed into thinking, into dark thinking, into melancholy vibes in my mind. Yeah, I had happiness, but like, okay, so I have just polar vibes. Either it was pure happiness or pure melancholy, and anything in between or outside this was something unusual for me, and it was again transformed into sadness. So I recommend you this one, and I think it's quite easy to read. I would call it entertaining, but I think many people would not, because it's a weird word for describing this one, but it's actually entertaining for me, even though it influences you so much that when you read it you don't feel like happy at all. Of course, it's not for happiness. Yeah. And the third book, I cannot call it my favorite, but it's special. So when I was 9, my father showed me the movie by Tarkovsky. It's funny to say it even out loud because maybe it's too pretentious, but my father showed me a movie Solaris by Tarkovsky, and I didn't feel anything strange because I think this movie maybe is the most ordinary one from Tarkovsky, and I just liked it. I enjoyed it, and I decided to read this book, and I found it in the library and I read it, and then like kind of 12 years later I reread it again, and here I am. I liked it. Yeah, it's about ocean that can think and influence all the things around him. Yeah, I think weird a bit to choose gender for the ocean, but anyway, I'm Russian, so in Russian it's male, yeah, you know. So I also recommend it, and of course I think you're not surprised that this book is not something to laugh at, to enjoy it in like normal sense. And what I wanted to add is that these 3 books, I love them, but others, I've read many books, especially when I was a teenager. I was reading like every day, and now I started to think why I was reading. I cannot explain normally, because I cannot say that I actually enjoyed that. I didn't have favorites, I was just reading, and I think I liked it more physically. Like my eyes were busy with something, and I like to be busy, and I didn't know how to rest. That's why I was doing this. So, but anyway, it had some impact on my mind and on my, I don't know, on my soul and on everything. So probably it was not that bad, even though it was not a normal form of a hobby. Yeah. And that's it for today again. And nonsense talk has happened here again, and see you a bit later. Bye.